Welcome to the wonderful world of chess. Chess is a very special game. Kings, queens, knights, castles. It is a game of skill, strategy, and honestly, a little bit of magic. When you sit down at a chessboard, you are not just playing with wooden pieces. You are entering a world of endless possibilities. Every game is a new story, a new adventure just waiting to happen. You are the general of your own army, and your goal is to outsmart your opponent. Learning chess is like learning a new language. It helps your mind grow stronger and teaches you to think in new ways. Chess is for everyone. Young children, older adults, boys, girls. The rules are simple to learn, but the game is deep enough to spend a lifetime exploring. This guide will share 10 important secrets every new chess player should know. They are simple, practical ideas you can use in your very next game. Think of them as your first tools for building a strong chess game. The first secret to playing good chess is to understand the center of the board. The center is made up of the 4 squares right in the middle. d4, e4, d5, e5, d4, e4, per day, 5, e5. Think of the center as the high ground in a battle. From the high ground, your army can see everything. A knight in the center on e4 can jump to 8 squares. A knight in the corner on a 1 can only jump to 2. By putting your pieces in the center, you give them maximum power and flexibility. More options and attack directions. So how do you control the center? 2 main ways. First, place your pawns in the center. Move the king's pawn 2 squares to e4, or the queen's pawn 2 squares to d4. These pawns put immediate pressure on the center. They act like a wall and are the foundation of your plan. Second, control the center with your pieces. After a center pawn, develop your knights and bishops to useful central squares. Example, after e4, develop the knight to f3. This knight helps control d4 and e5. Use pawns and pieces together to build a strong grip on the center. This gives you a big advantage for the rest of the game. Always remember, control the center, control the game. The second secret is about bringing your pieces into the game. At the start, most of your powerful pieces sit on the back row. They cannot do anything from their starting squares. Your job is to wake them up, develop knights and bishops early, bring rooks and queen later when files open. A player who develops faster usually has the advantage. The third secret is castling. Castling moves your king away from the center and brings a rook into play. Try to castle early, usually within the first 10 moves. The fourth secret sounds simple, but even experienced players need to remember it. Think before you move. In chess, once you let go of a piece, the move is made. The touch move rule. Because every move is permanent, be careful. Before you move, ask, what is my opponent trying to do? Look at their last move. Are they attacking a piece or setting a trap? Take a moment to look at the board from your opponent's side. Look for a few possible moves. Do not play the first move that comes to mind. Compare which is safest, which improves your position, and which creates problems for your opponent. Finally, do a blunder check. Imagine your move and ask, what can my opponent do now? Does this leave pieces undefended or create weaknesses? The fifth secret is about pawns. Pawns are unique. They cannot move backward. Every pawn move is permanent and changes the structure of the game. Think of your pawns as a wall or the skeleton of your position. A healthy pawn structure supports your pieces and protects your king. Avoid creating holes or weak squares. Avoid doubled pawns and isolated pawns unless you have a clear plan. These are lasting weaknesses. This doesn't mean never move pawns. Move pawns with purpose to control the center, open lines for your bishops or rooks, or create a passed pawn in the endgame. The sixth secret, rooks are powerful long-range pieces, but at the start they can be stuck behind pawns. Open files are columns with no pawns of either color. Semi-open files have only an opponent pawn. These are the highways for your rooks. A rook on the 7th rank is often called a pig. It can eat your opponent's pawns. Control open files and place rooks there. Open files often appear after pawn trades. When a file opens, move a rook to it. That's where rooks become very strong. Do not leave your rooks sleeping in the corners. Give them open space to work. Wake up your army, control the center, develop quickly, castle, and put your rooks on open files to prepare for the middle game. The seventh secret, a knight on the rim is dim. The rim means the edges. A file, H file, 1st rank, 8th rank. Knights on the edge have far fewer moves. A knight in the center like e4 can move to 8 squares. It is active and powerful. Move it to h4 and its range is halved. Move it to the corner and it may only have 2 moves. It takes many moves to return a rim knight to the center. When developing knights, aim for squares like f3 or c3 or f6 and c6 for black, where they influence the center. The 8th secret is about how to win. Learn basic checkmates. With a queen and king versus a lone king, use your queen to box in the enemy king, shrink the box, drive the king to the edge, then bring your king to help deliver mate. With a rook and king, use the rook to cut off files and force the king to the edge while your king closes in. Be careful to avoid stalemate. Practice these mates until they become automatic. It lets you convert advantages into wins. The 9th secret, know the relative value of your pieces to judge trades. A pawn is 1 point, a knight or bishop is about 3, a rook is 5, a queen is 9, the king is priceless. If checkmated, you lose. Use this to decide trades. Trading a rook for a knight is usually bad, unless you get a strong positional or mating advantage. Before you capture, always check if your piece can be recaptured. Losing a queen for a pawn is catastrophic. Keep a mental tally. Before trades, imagine the recapture sequence and the resulting material balance. Now the last secret is not about moves, it is about how you behave as a player. The 10th and final secret is to always be a good sport. Greet your opponent, say good luck, shake hands before the first move, give and expect quiet focus during the game, and shake hands again afterwards. If you win, be gracious. If you lose, be graceful. Learn from losses rather than making excuses. Respect silence, avoid distracting gestures, and let your opponent concentrate. Be kind. A consoling gesture after a loss goes a long way. Being a good sport builds friendships and makes the chess community stronger. Review. 1. Control the center. 2. Develop your pieces quickly. 3. Castle early to keep your king safe. 4. Always think before you move. 5. Remember every pawn move is forever. 6. Put rooks on open files. 7. Keep knights off the rim. 8. Learn basic checkmates. 9. Know the value of your pieces. 10. Always be a good sport. Play as much as you can, with friends, family, and online. Do not fear losing, review games and learn from mistakes. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. These 10 secrets are your foundation, simple, powerful building blocks. Your army is ready. Your journey in the wonderful world of chess begins now. Good luck.